We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, featuring Joe Granelli and Paul Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review wherever you stream your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram at tugayspod and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. We hope you enjoy.
She was like, what is, like, she's in there. I hate when Ariel goes, what's that word again? It's like, you've had the script for 8 weeks. Be a professional.
I love that. I saw that. I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. That was good.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays.
It is us. We are who? It's us? I don't know.
It's us. We are they. It is we.
Sure.
Weekend edition.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, because we're doing this on a Saturday.
I know. Look at us. Saturday.
What is the song? Oh,
by Elton John, right?
Oh, Saturdays are all right for fighting. Yeah, Saturdays. That's all I can sing because
wait, all right for wait. Saturdays are right for fighting.
Yeah,
that's the name of the song.
Saturday night's all right.
It's not just called Saturday.
No.
Oh. But
there's also a song by Erasure called "I Love Saturday."
Oh, I love it.
There's Saturday.
Oh yeah, Night.
There's also Saturday in the Park.
Oh yes, exactly.
I love this song.
Chicago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it was the 4th of July. So I need to do that. I need to go to on the 4th of July. I need to go to a park on a Saturday.
Well, it was funny because during COVID, I remember one day for about a month, I was doing either songs or bands that had the name of that day of the week in them. So, on the Saturdays, I had the Saturdays, or I had Saturday in the Park by Chicago, and then, I
on a
Love
playlist?
Saturday by Erasure and stuff,
That's how bored you were, basically.
That's how bored I was. But it was actually kind of fun, because I was like, oh, I gotta find, songs that work on this.
And if anyone could do it, you could do it, because I feel like your song knowledge is, what's the word? Expansive?
Oh, extensive?
No, I'm trying to think of what do they call the Grand Canyon? The Grand Canyon? No.
Oh, the Grand Canyon.
It's a big, it's big. There's a lot.
Expensive.
Sure.
There we go. Expansive is the word.
Whatever. Oh my lord.
Or expensive. It's pretty expensive too.
The Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
Is it?
A lot of resources to fill that out.
Kind of like my butthole.
Oh dear.
Deep and cavernous.
Exactly. Looks like a painting.
It's a Van Gogh.
So how was your week, Joe?
Well, actually a lot happened.
Because there was only half a week.
I know, and a lot occurred.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I had 2 doctor's appointments. I went to a dermatology, whatever, to make sure I don't have skin cancer. And then I went to the dentist, and they told me, you got a lot of plaque. And I was like, I know, because I've had gum graft procedures and I can't brush my teeth. So,
did they give you a plaque?
No.
I love when they say, you need a crown. I know, right? I mean,
You got that crown.
Crown
brought to you
this.
by Drags Jewels or whatever. Crowns by Crowns Queens
Crown
or
and
whatever.
Scepter by Drag.
Yeah.
Drag, it is. I think it is
Something.
Drag
Yeah. I did not get a crown at the dentist, but they were like, you need a water pick. And I was like, okay. So then I got a water pick, and very messy. Have you ever used one before?
I have one. Yeah.
I think I need to perfect the technique, because it just shoots water everywhere.
You gotta have your lips closed, though.
Well,
Yeah. You
I-
gotta be talking while you're doing it.
The first time I made the mistake of looking at the mirror, and it was just water
It was
everywhere.
like a Neutrogena commercial. where they take the water and
It
throw
was!
it.
Oh my
Starburst
god!
fruit juice.
It was. I was like, how the hell am I supposed to clean my teeth when it's on the mirror? So I'm learning through my water pick journey.
So good hint. We have one that's battery operated, so you can actually do it in the shower.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
brush my
key.
teeth and stuff in the shower.
Yeah, mine's it's cordless, and I will say they are expensive.
They're not cheap, no.
No, I was like, okay, what, $40? No, it was like $70. And I was like, all this does is squirt water.
And you have to get extra tips because you have to change those.
Oh, I do?
Yes.
How often?
I would probably say just like your toothbrush.
Like every 3 months?
Every yeah, daily.
It's like, this is getting very expensive to have
it's
tea.
one-time use only.
It's your once a day, like your vitamin. Oh my God. So I'm working through that. And then I had jury duty.
6 months.
Ooh.
And
duty.
So, yeah, duty. Jury poopy. This was the first time that, like, I called and they were like, oh, it was on Friday. They're like, if you're like supposed to come on Friday, like don't come. And I was like, I don't believe you. You're going to give me a warrant for my arrest. And so I showed up and then they were like, oh no, like
you weren't supposed to show up.
They were like, you're back up for today, but you're on call until Thursday. And I was like, it's one day for jury duty. They were like, no. You're supposed to call every day until Thursday. And I was like, okay. But I want to be on a jury.
Federal? Or
It's just the San Diego Central Court.
downtown?
Yeah.
You
and
wanna be on a jury.
I want to so badly.
So
Yes.
I got some questionnaire where they want you to fill it out to go on a grand jury for a federal grand jury. I was like, that sounds really interesting, but I think you're on it for like months.
I'd be okay with that. Like, are you talking like a federal crime?
No, it's like the people who review the people who are reviewing Trump's stuff in Georgia right now. That's like the grand jury. It's just a bunch of people determining if there's enough evidence to prosecute.
I would love to do
Like that could be really fun as long as you could not like be stressed at work and stuff. But.
Yeah, I would. Well, I'd have to take like a leave or something. But so I had jury duty, and I was really surprised that they made me like call back. I was like, that's very strange.
Yeah, I think you have to call like every day.
Yeah. And I've been on one where it was like it was for an entire month. And I think it was so like there was one time that I got called for like the like local San Diego and then like the like there was like a county thing or something and it was 2. And so like I did my one day and I was excused and then it was like you had to call every Sunday to see if you had to show up. And it was like for the full month. Wow. And I was like, okay. But so now I was like, I want to be on the jury. Like, I don't know how I can, like, do that. Because if I'm just... They're like... The guy was like, you're just, like, back up. And I was like, damn it. So I'm, like, just waiting.
I've only gotten into they do the thing before they start the trials called voir dire, which is where they ask you all the questions and decide if you're excluded or not. And I've never gotten beyond that, and I've only once gotten in the chair, like one of the juror chairs.
Really?
It sounds like American Idol.
Well, and like I don't like, so I don't want to be too thirsty looking. Like, oh, like pick me, because then like they're not going to pick you.
Did you ever watch that episode of Schitt's Creek with what's her name, the mayor's wife, and she really wants to be in the jury, and then Maura ends up there and ruins it for both of them.
I watched the full season. I don't remember. I don't remember that one.
You have to rewatch it then. Okay, it was hilarious.
I can do that. So yeah, I had jury duty, and then we also did our taxes, so that was fun. Woo! I don't owe as much as I thought I did, so
that's good.
TurboTax on your...
my parents, we have a girl, Carol, that we've just been going to for
a
girl.
Okay, Carol. Shout out to Carol.
Yeah, Carol's been doing my taxes since I've started working, so I think like 17
years. Is she a CPA?
She is
tax preparer.
No clue.
Talking about my girl.
Carol, yeah. Yeah, she's great. And then do. I would have won. I would have got
Carol. She's doing my taxes.
She's great. No, if y'all, I mean, I don't know if I can like promote her or whatever, but Carol's great. She's been my tax lady forever. And then my last weekly update is that I went to Bed Bath & Beyond because I needed to get like a mirror, like a fogless mirror for the shower.
Okay.
And they had nothing. And I thought that like just the other locations were closing, but I don't think that Bed Bath & Beyond in Mission Valley is going to survive.
Why do you need to look at yourself in the shower?
So I started shaving with a straight razor.
And what about the gay razors?
No. Those gay razors, you can't trust them. Can't trust them.
It's a questioning razor.
Do you really want to do that in the shower? Is that what you're doing there?
Oh, we're doing this today? Okay.
Oh, is that the body wash you're using? Okay.
2 in 1, really, girl?
They have like 3. This is what I hate about Ben's like toiletries, that they have like a 3-in-1, and I'm like, we're not that stupid. Like, we can shampoo and like get a body wash or whatever. Anywho.
But if they all wash out everything all together, why not just get a 3-in-1?
I get it.
Yeah.
So
I was in Michael's today, and I walked through the soap section, the making soap section.
Did you?
A whole bunch of stuff.
Wait, they have a soap making section at Michael's?
Yeah.
Joe
That makes sense.
Yeah, they are craft.
It's a craft store.
And there's like a whole aisle dedicated to soap making.
No.
Yes.
Fragrances and
tomorrow.
everything, girl.
Oh my god, fragrance. What'd you say, foie gras earlier? What was it called? Free
The voir dire.
Voir dire.
That's their set.
The voir dire was eating foie gras.
It's like, it's hints of oak, leather,
And justice. with an undertone of
and jailed sandwiches.
morsel, whatever. So that's me. What about you?
So we went to dinner for Andy's job.
Yeah.
Out. They had their annual holiday party, which was fun.
This was the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, first time in 3 years,
together.
everybody's all been together.
Doubled in size.
Yeah.
In those 3 years.
Wow.
So there's some people I didn't know. And then some people, the programmers I don't really talk to because they're not very sociable except for their own little group. And it's like, okay, I've tried to crack that code, but it just doesn't work. They're very like, we're in our own little...
Okay,
and,
adorable.
So the Tray Pass food was really good because it was at this restaurant called Jardin.
Okay.
Which is in Pacific Beach. The Tray Pass food was phenomenal. Really heavy though. It was like heavy.
What's
one
tray
big
pass?
thing, like the hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, like a literal tray that you pass around?
Right.
Yes.
I'm thinking like TRESPA, like S, like
Voir dire.
yeah, voir dire, tray pass, foie gras. Like I thought it was another French term.
Oh, I love this restaurant. I go here often with a client that lives in that area.
I'm sure it's really good
Yeah.
if you're sitting down and having dinner.
But I've only been there for like lunch and
Right.
enjoy, like different types
Jordan.
of
So having 40 people there
Yeah.
is a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
Because it's like
They have a back room.
Right, they have a back room area, which
okay.
is beautiful, and there's a nice view of the water and everything. It was gorgeous. And before we got there, we had to choose our meal, which is either steak, fish, or surf and turf.
Ooh, okay.
So I did surf and turf, and he did just the steak. So his was thicker. So when he cut into
Yeah,
it,
it is.
Yeah, it is. It's meat.
Give me that thick man meat.
It was also disappointingly raw.
Yes, It was like
Twice they took it back they serve it, and you didn't see a server for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then when they finally came back, I had cut into it. It was blue in the middle.
Oh,
And
no.
They took it back, and 5 minutes later they came back with the same piece, warmer on the outside, but still completely
so.
raw.
Either they put it in the microwave for like
Yeah.
2 seconds, but I think what they did is they threw it into a pan really quickly on that side that was the raw that you saw that he cut on, and then served it to him again. So when he cut into it, it's still raw.
Yeah.
But
Just
like,
seared.
right. And so it's just, and the person across from us, Bianca, her meat was raw too.
Oh,
So it was just like,
no.
okay. I mean, mine was fine because it was a smaller piece. And
Yeah.
the fish was really good. But like, they go heavy on the white pepper. Let me tell y'all, if you have white pepper, it is really strong. So
Is
go
it
light
you
on
need
that.
like a less is more sort of thing?
Right. It's not
had
like
white
black
pepper.
pepper. Black pepper is a little bit more milder.
I don't know if I've
white
ever had
pepper
white
is
pepper.
very strong.
People use white pepper so you don't get the color.
Right.
It's used a lot in sauces and stuff, so you don't get the black
And so
flakes.
if you're doing like
interesting.
mashed potatoes and you don't want little black flecks in it, you use white pepper. But the problem is also
use a lot of white
you
pepper.
use a lot of white pepper because you can't see it.
So it's very peppery?
So it was a pepper bomb for us.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, but that was fine. It was nice to hang out with people, and then of course, me and Andy, we have our little like code that
Pineapple?
So I go, yes. So I go to him because he got up and started talking to his bosses and stuff. And Andy's letting them smell the white pepper that we have. It is really strong. See?
That is very peppery.
Yeah. So,
holy moly.
So Andy's talking to his bosses, and I'm done with my meal, and we had our dessert and everything. So I get up, and I'm like walking over to him.
Wait, what was the dessert, though?
It was like a chocolate cake brownie kind of thing.
Dried out brownie cake.
Oh.
Like a Bakewell.
So,
tray bake.
Well, I mean, it's hard when Andy's
I have a pretty low standard,
but like their salad they had before, which was like goat cheese, beets, and strawberries, was good. Mm-hmm. And Andy really enjoyed it. I was like, I wished it was dressed because there was no dressing on it. And I was like,
just the beets and the goat cheese. And some nuts.
I was like, those beets are doing, and the strawberries are doing a lot of heavy lifting, y'all. So
it lacked that acid that you would get with the vinegar.
Lacked that ass, dude.
But they had that thick meat.
So one of the funniest parts of that dinner, though, is, of course, like they have to do a little speech at the beginning, and my boss gets up and congratulating, talking about the fact that it's been 3 years and we're double in size. And he's like, and over the last 3 years, like a few people have gotten married. And he introduced a couple of the workers who had gotten married in that time frame. And he's like, and one of our employees just got engaged. And he said, Nell and John are now engaged. Well, Nell is Bliss's sister. It was Bliss and John that got engaged. So it was like the biggest faux pas that he named the wrong employee.
Oh, no.
So all of us congratulating Nell all night on
everybody cracked up. So that was hilarious. But so it's getting close to the end of the night, and I go over to Andy, and I'm like, yeah, so my drink had a lot of pineapple in it.
And Andy goes, really? Oh.
And Paul goes,
was it good?
You gave him the eye.
Yeah.
I'm ready to leave. Let's go.
Well, then I'm like, so then we decided, okay, so we're going to pretend we're going to the bathroom because the space that we were in was in the back of the restaurant. The restaurant was in the front of the restaurant.
Right.
So
easy out,
Yeah, so I was like,
stagger.
I go, and then he'll say goodbye to, or goes talk to some people, then he'll go, I'm going to use the restroom, and then we leave. I'm like, out in the car, I'm waiting, and I'm like, I know, it's fine, it's whatever, because he said like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm like, okay. He comes out, and he's like, I really should have gone to the bathroom before we left. And I'm like, why did you? He's like, because I knew you were waiting. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, man, I feel the same way, though. It's like, oh, no, somebody's waiting, I gotta go. And then you get in the car, you're like, oh, God.
Yeah. And I don't like going to Pacific Beach as it is because of traffic and parking and stuff.
It's impossible to get in and out of there.
Yeah.
That's why you go for lunch.
Right. And it was Thursday, so it wasn't too bad, and that's fine, So
it was also a really loud room. Like, the room we were in was really pretty, but there was nothing cloth, so solid wood floor, solid ceiling.
Glass.
It was so loud you couldn't talk to the people across the table.
Oh,
right.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
So 10 out of 10 recommend?
I mean, I would definitely go back and try it because it is a restaurant that I want to try for like lunch or dinner on just sitting down. But like for a large party, I don't think they have the capacity to deal with that.
Okay,
I would not recommend you doing your wedding there.
Right.
Okay. So do you think in like normal operations, the steak would have been cooked correctly?
I don't know. Like, I don't know how that, like, if for that group of people, they should have sous vide those steaks so they were perfect.
Yeah, they should have. What they should have done is they should have pre-cooked them all, and then threw them on, get them warm and hot and stuff,
just
and
give
then
them to you.
Send it out. Yeah,
which would have been an easy thing to do with the equipment that they should have.
Yeah,
but
but that wasn't thought through.
I wonder, do they do a lot of events? Maybe not a lot of events?
I'm sure they probably do because of the space that they have, but because I think since it was a sit-down plated dinner, and we were the last table in the grouping, they were probably trying to get the food out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, sure.
And make sure everybody can eat at the same time. But because he and this other person had a thicker piece, it needed more time on the grill. So... Anyway,
I will say though that the reason I love going there for lunch is PB. I didn't really realize this. How many people work out and go on runs shirtless?
He goes for the man candy views.
So if you're ever in PB, like maybe the food's whatever because you're sitting there and you're like, is this why people come and just sit here? Because it's just like And also, why are these people at 1 p.m. out shirtless running? Like, don't you have
That's probably
jobs?
because they're either servers at all these restaurants and bars, or that's their lunch break, and they're like, "I'm gonna go for a run without a shirt on."
Oh man,
and I'm okay with that.
I know. I'm here for it.
I support athleticism and healthy lifestyle.
I am obsessed with that. And you know what else I'm obsessed with? Mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth resuscitation. All right, Joe, what do you got?
I have two.
Okay.
So I recently went through trying to figure out a new backpack, because I have these tiny little backpacks that I use to bike to and from work.
Every time somebody says backpack,
Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer. Backpack.
So it's funny that you say that, because the backpack that I used previously was a tiny little Dora backpack, and I even called it my Dora backpack because it was just a small little thing. You don't need a lot, but it's just a little satchel basically. And it was I need a bigger real backpack that once I'm if I'm going to travel somewhere, I can have a day pack. And so I Googled day packs, and apparently they're hiking things. So I got this hiking backpack, and I biked to work this past weekend. I was oh, this is actually really nice. So I'm obsessed with that. And then the Ratatouille soundtrack from the Pixar film.
Okay.
That and super random. The song came in my head the other day. I was what is this from? I was why do I Paris accordions in my head? And I was oh, it's Ratatouille. And so I've just been listening to the soundtrack.
Okay.
Look, hey, grasping at straws.
Yes. So I have two as well.
Okay.
So the first thing is all these tours that are coming up this year. So you've got Madonna with Bob the Drag Queen, which is why I think Monet and him canceled the rest of their sibling rivalry tour that they had, because he's going on tour with Madonna
as
as the opening act.
No shit.
Right, because he just dropped his album Gay Bars.
No way.
Yeah.
Good for him. Cool. Good for Bob the Drag.
I know, right? I'm okay, do it, girl.
Usurp Trixie. Thank you.
That's big time.
Yeah.
You've got Lizzo with Lotto.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would love to see that.
Beyonce's Renaissance tour.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was reading an article.
Tell me.
People are having a hard time getting tickets here because tickets are so expensive to Beyonce. Some of the tickets are $900. Mm-hmm. So people are buying tickets for her shows in Scandinavia.
Yes,
and then flying
That's what
to
Nick
that because the tickets are only $300.
Yeah, and then you get an extra vacation out of it too.
Right.
That's what I was telling Joe. I was do you want to go to a different country to see Beyonce?
And not only that, but that's the beginning of her tour.
But you wouldn't be able to understand any of the lyrics there.
Okay, this went through my mind too, because I was Nick is saying that and the one of the places was Netherlands, and I was I would love to go to the Netherlands, but then I was when I'm in the Netherlands, I don't speak.
Everybody in the Netherlands speaks English better than we do.
So okay,
do
they speak Dutch?
They speak Netherish.
They speak Dutch, and some
Netherlands
of them are close enough that they speak Flemish because they're close to. They probably most people from Amsterdam can speak 3 or 4 languages.
What is Flemish?
It's the language of Belgium.
Flemish?
Yeah, half French. Half
No
Flemish.
shit. Flemish.
I know.
I would think I speak
It's when you have that congestion in your chest. I'm a little Flemish.
Right?
Or when you're embarrassed a little bit, or got too much going on, you're Flemish.
Oh my god, I'm Flemish. You look a little Flemish tonight.
Right. Also, Betty Who is on tour, and she's touring with Shea Coulee and Slater. I'm good for y'all getting this coin.
Yeah, I mean, get that coin, girl.
Janet Jackson is touring with Ludacris, and I'm I would actually love to see that. Because I love Ludacris.
I love Janet.
Janet Jackson, I feel she's a good performer.
And I was looking at possibly going to Taylor Swift's concert, but she's touring with a ton of people, but they're all at different dates. So she's touring with Muna,
okay,
Haim, and more. But the ones where she's over here on this coast, close by is not either one of those bands.
And the tickets are still wickedly overpriced, right?
Right. But I would love to see Muna or Ham if they're going to do something off
Yeah.
like a one-off kind of thing while they're on tour with her kind of thing.
Awesome.
So, so that's one of the things I'm obsessed with. The other thing I'm obsessed with is like news coverage, because there's not a lot of it, of the ecological disaster in East Palestine, Ohio. Like, you can see this black cloud burning of the toxic chemicals from space.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you're fine. You're totally fine to go back in your house.
I'm like, no, not if people are having like burning sensations in their throat and stuff. They're having eye issues.
Yeah.
Like, animals are dying.
Yeah, like 35,000 fish are dead or something. And it's like, clearly there's something
And
going
it's not
on.
only in the air and or the water in the Ohio River, but like it's now getting into the soil.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Like, you know, and there's like one of the compounds in it is super toxic.
It's a vinyl gas or something.
Like vinyl chloride or something like that. And
vinyl
it's just
chloride
like, it can create, that's what they use like in like chemical warfare kind of stuff.
The photos of the train car
The
pile
plume.
up.
Right.
Is just
Which,
tragic.
when you look at it, it's because in 2017, the Trump rolled back the Obama era regulations of having the brake systems updated every year.
Yep. And there's been a lot of lobbying by the train companies to have less regulation for the train systems.
Right. And then there was another one recently, just like in the last couple of days, another train derailment, like outside of like Detroit or something.
Jesus.
But it's like, seriously? Did somebody just...
I know. Did you fart? No. I heard a little... Yeah, I heard that too.
If you think you heard a fart also, email us at tugayspod.
And take a shot. Yeah, I was gonna say the Ohio thing is like, it's in Ohio, right?
Yeah.
The train. It's really sad because it's like all of these families are like displaced.
Yeah.
And if I were in that situation, I would like not want to be there.
Right.
But like, where are you gonna go?
Well, and East Palestine is not a very affluent area.
No.
Right? And then like that, but it's like you're in like heartland area.
Yeah.
So like this is a lot of where like farming happens.
Yep.
So it's just, that's crazy to me. But you know, drag queens and stuff like that are more important than...
Oh no, Hunter Biden. It's Hunter Biden's laptop.
Right.
Yeah.
I do hate how political it gets. Like, because I saw that I've been going to a gym here that plays a couple different news things, so you can see different TVs showing. And it's like on Fox News, it's like the headline is Transportation Secretary Buttigieg declines.
They're trying to blame
going
him.
to a meeting about this, and it's like, well, he's probably like aware of it, and like, is there a reason that he would need to be at the?
But he doesn't control
like
the
it's
trains.
making it like this polarized thing when it's like, of course he's aware, and of course he's going to give his support, but he doesn't necessarily need to go to the town hall.
It's not in his purview either. He doesn't manage the railway system.
Yeah. Anyway, so
And,
it's just
and like Jim Jordan, who was a representative from Ohio, like ignored the problem for like almost a week, and then finally when he did say something about it, he blamed Biden, and it's like, no.
so
I would
sad.
just be like, I would
they
want to
all
make
can
sure that the
help.
folks that are in that area are not going to have health impacts or anything like that, because they're not only just displaced, but like there is a potential like long-term life health effects that they don't know.
Some people can't leave because financially they can't afford to leave.
Exactly.
So they're stuck there.
Yeah.
So
There was I was listening to like a news article, and it was basically saying the residents are like, we want you to give us daily tests, and you have to publicly show us the results.
good for them.
Yeah.
Like, you really need to do that for yourself, you know, because they're just going to tell you, oh, it's fine, you can drink the water.
Yeah. No. Well, what was the one with lead? Was that...
It was Flint.
Flint?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All I'm thinking of is seeing a fish walk out of one of their lakes, like on Simpsons, with like 3 eyes.
Yes.
That's all I can think of. I know it's like, that sounds really heartless and stuff to be laughing about it, but that's all I can think of. It's like, that's what it's going to be like. So
the green radiating.
it's crazy. So
Anywho,
that's what we're obsessed with. So, so this week we're like Dua Lipa. We're talking about those new rules.
Mm-hmm.
How does it go? New rules.
girl, you played it, and I don't even know it.
I already forgot about it.
I got new rules. Let's count them.
Yeah, I think so.
Or I got new rules. I'm counting.
I think it's got new rules. Let's count them. Yeah, I think it's let's count them.
Nick will find it.
Yeah, Nick is gonna look it up for us.
What's the answer, Dula Peep? Come on, Dula Peep.
But
New Rules is the song.
I got new rules. I count them. Okay. So there was an article in New York Magazine, not in the New York Times. We hate the New York Times, but this is in New York Magazine, and it's on their website. It's in the cut, and it's all these new rules for how to behave.
Like etiquette, right?
Like etiquette, because we had the whole episode about etiquette before, but these are like new rules based on how society is now.
Yep.
Post-COVID. Especially after post-COVID and stuff. So we're going to go through some of these, and we're going to talk about them, because some of these I agree with, some of these I disagree with, some of these I feel like are a generational thing and stuff. So what's one of the first ones you have? So
I'm going to start from the bottom of the list, because I feel like I'm probably going to agree with some of the things that you don't like. Okay. Just because I have a feeling. I'll start from the bottom. This one was just like funny because it was like, it's number 125 and it says, ask before sending a super graphic pic. This is true across the board for men communicating with women. But what made me laugh, it was, in a spicy man-on-man venue like Grindr, dick pics are fine, but everything else requires consent.
Like, if you're going to send your butthole, I need consent for that.
But so I was like, okay. And then I think we were talking about this before we started, but I think it was definitely like a cisgender heterosexual man or like heterosexual woman that like wrote this, because it's like in our community, obviously, like people get unsolicited dick pics all the time, and we're like, whatever. It's like, hello, right? But
good day.
Yes, good day, good afternoon. But I agree. I think that it's always nice to be like, hey, can I send you something? Instead of just do it.
Well, and not only that, but like, I feel like even in a Grindr situation, you should still ask for consent. I still don't want to see your dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to probably suck on it, but I'm like, I don't want to see it just yet. Give me a little bit of time.
Uh-huh.
So my first one, it's okay. I'm going to start from the bottom and go to the top.
No, you're going from the bottom?
Yeah. So, because I did number 138, which is don't pelt your friends with text messages. And this is more for Andy than for anybody else. Because he is not a big texter. And he's on a couple of text chains.
With us.
With us. And then our other group of friends that like and love and heart and, do everything. So he'll end up with like 75 text messages within like an hour.
Well, and then some of them don't have iPhones, so it actually like
it
has to repeat all of this.
Right. And it always sounds like so and so liked it. I'm like, really, y'all?
You know the answer to that though?
Can you stop being poor?
Well, no. Put your phone on vibrate and place that thing in between your legs.
But then Andy, right?
And that way it's like, oh.
But like Andy will get when he's done with his call, because like during the day he has calls that he does.
Yeah, he's like a real worker,
right? And so he'll be like, I have 50-something messages. What the hell could this be going on? That these 50-something messages.
So I
don't sound that way.
It's funny because I am on both sides of this, because I am also the spam texter, but I also sometimes get spammed and I'm like, chill, bitch. But it's like, Joe, you do this too. Like,
what I don't like is when people like only put like a couple of words, but it's like they have to send 15 text messages to get their point across. I'm like, send it in one.
I'm that person.
That's true.
I'm that person, like, because I'm like stream of conscious, like, oh my god, this, and then it's like 47 like small
you're texting it from your computer.
Yeah, so like if I'm like typing on a keyboard for the most part.
When he's out versus when he's on his.
Because it's really quick when he's in the
or
house
if
on his
it's
computer.
Yeah, if it's just like okay or got it. Like, I'm on my phone. But if it's like, I got you, girl, I know what you're talking about, LOL, haha, kiss emoji, wink face, gif.
We had one person we know, he gasp texts. It's always like 2 words. Okay. I'm coming.
That's me.
No.
Well, sometimes it's Joe, because then he'll be like, you only like one word to answer that. I'm like, it only needed 1 word. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
So speaking of texting, my next one is it's 122. Don't ever message someone K period. And so, but there's a difference what you do, because you just do the letter K, but not the period.
or I do a
thumbs up.
A thumbs up. But I know it's like a period means we're done with this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that really that?
Yeah,
something?
K period.
Either. And
this combination. So the whatever the
understanding of it.
Yeah, like, it basically means like fuck you.
K period. We're done.
But you can say K no period, KK, and OK, and those are solid.
I have to go back and reread text now, and I get offended.
But don't do KKK.
I mean, you shouldn't.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So my other one is 131, which is the text message amnesty is granted after 72 hours. So if you haven't responded after 72 hours, it's fine not to acknowledge that text message when you text again. So, so for those of you who are like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed because I didn't get back to you for that text message a week ago. It's fine because it's past the 72 hours.
Yeah.
So there used to be these guys that did a podcast. They would, once a year, they would do Amnesty Day, and they could write emails and send text to all the people they ignored all year. That it was like their bye. Like so.
Oh, really?
I don't have to explain anything. I'm just reconnecting with you right now because it's our Amnesty Day.
Well, and I think like people are busy. And, like, I used to be the kind of person where it's, like, glued to my phone. But then it's, like, as you kind of, like, progress in your life or whatever, like, things happen, life happens, there's other things that like, you pull responsibility, you know? Well,
and then, again, this is a generational thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those ones where it's generational thing. Because I remember, Nick, you posted something about something like this on Facebook. And, like, there were a couple of people who were just older who just were like, that's so rude. And it's
I remember that.
It is not rude. It's just people have lives and they can't get back. It's like, you have your phone on you all the time, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but, like, you're not the only person that I'm talking to either. Like, it's just going to happen.
Yeah, and
we're
constantly bombarded with notifications. It's sometimes nice to not have that, like, screw up our day.
Right. So...
Am I going?
It's you going.
Okay. Go ahead. No, what were you going to say?
Oh, but I was like, did you read the side ones where like the specialty guest authors?
I thought those were ads.
Oh no, they had their own little like rules. That's why we have 190, but it only like went to 140 or something like that.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So one of them,
I didn't read any of those. Because I was like, what is this ad? I thought it was like an ad, and I was like, go next.
Well, okay. So in one of those, they said a couple of things is always greet your partner with a kiss, and if you're looking at your phone, look up. Because, like, when I come home from work or something like that, I say hi to Cooper. Because he's out here.
First.
Because he's out here already.
You greet your partner with a kiss.
Yeah. And then I go into the office, and if Andy's not on the phone or something like that, then I'll give him a kiss and say hi and see what's going on. But, like, yeah, you should always greet your partner with a kiss.
Mm-hmm. And then a wet dick.
Okay.
For that man meat. Okay. This one I was confused by. So it's 110, and it says, saw someone shoplifting? No, you didn't. Ditto for jumping the turnstile.
That means, did you see somebody shoplift? No, bitch. You didn't. Keep it to your fucking self.
So
you don't have to worry about that. That is not on you. They are taken from a big corporation. The corporation will be fine.
So, because I was like, wait, are they saying, like, not to report crimes?
Yes, Karen, that's exactly what
it's freaking, it's a candy bar, okay?
But, like, if someone's stealing TV, do I just go, nope, don't see anything?
I mean, if they're stealing a TV, I'm going to applaud them because, like, if you can get it out of the store and nobody stops you, then...
That's true.
You know,
that 72-inch TV, they're just running.
Right. But, I mean, if they're, like... attacking someone, I'm like, say something.
And that's probably, like, where they're getting at. It's, like, is it your business to, like... No harm, no foul, I guess, versus, like, if they were hurting somebody and punching... Like,
right.
When another person's involved... But I guess corporations are people if you're Mitt Romney,
well,
so...
But it is...
So I don't know, like, maybe corporations hurt, too.
But it's also for your own safety. Like, don't get yourself involved in stuff like that. It's not...
That's a good point.
It's not your fight.
That's that makes more sense.
I ain't got time to be filling out a police report and stuff. No, I don't want to.
Andy hit it on the head. It's not your fight.
Yeah. So, okay. So I know you didn't do any of the parenting one, but I only did one. And it's like, if someone's baby is crying in public, you don't need to stare at them or give them disapproving looks. They know the baby's crying.
Yeah.
So like when we're on a plane, I put my headphones in.
Yep.
Yeah. And if a baby starts crying, I'm like,
it's okay.
Look ahead. I don't need to worry. Like, obviously, the baby's like, even when I was on our trip to DC when I was coming home, there was a small kid and he was like crying, but I mean, he was like right next to me.
Yeah.
And like the mom was trying to get him to calm down. The dad was trying to put the seat, the baby seat on the plane and everything like that. And so I just looked at the kid and I'm like, oh my God, is that a bear on your shirt? That's kind of cool. And we started talking and he kind of like calmed down. And I'm like, okay, that's for my own sanity as well as everybody else. But you don't have to look back at them going, is that a baby crying?
Well, guess what? Babies cry.
Babies cry, and they're on a plane.
Yeah.
And
my only like caveat to that is like if you're in a movie and a baby is crying, like so you're in an like there are some things, but like it's unavoidable.
Don't bring a baby to a movie. I think would be the bigger
right.
Yeah, like and a baby starts. Yeah,
or
don't bring
a
a baby.
show, a theater. We went and saw Frozen, and it was terrible.
I mean, let's be real. Like. And with that, there's a caveat also because, like, if you're going to something where children are supposed to be,
but it wasn't actually the kids; it was the adult in charge of the children.
Like, but she was like, I'm pretty sure, like a little turned.
Well, the other thing is like, don't bring small children to like fancy restaurants.
Yeah,
sometimes it's best to just leave them at home.
Right. This should be an adult only evening for you guys. You know?
I agree.
So
time and place.
Yeah.
Because maybe you have kids that are on best behavior, and that's the case. If they work out, great. But then there is that moment of like, this isn't working. We don't want to ruin the experience for everybody else. We'll leave.
Right.
Yep. Okay, my next one I disagree with, and it says it's number 102, and it says you can eat anything at your desk in an open office plan.
Oh.
And I was like, no. Don't you give me that nasty salmon. I mean, just
broccoli.
No broccoli.
No. Like they're
what's an open office plan?
When there's no like cubicles or like spaces,
like it's cubicles, but there's no separate rooms.
Oh,
but there should just be like it's like golden rules. Like you don't need your fish. Like save it for dinner.
Like I agree with that. But like I agree and I don't agree.
Yeah.
Like I agree that you can eat what you want as long as it doesn't affect
others.
Yeah, you can eat it cold so it doesn't stink up the place.
But. Yeah. Right, but if you over here microwaving the fish you had last night, first of all, the fuck. Second of all,
that's save it. Save the salmon for home.
Right. So my next one is this: it's if going to a small party, do not arrive on time because it's considered rude. But if you're going to a large party, go early because then you can like talk to people and then it gives you a chance to like start conversations and then move on to others. Because like sometimes if you arrive on time, sometimes for a small party, like people they may not be ready at that time to accept guests yet.
Oh,
even though that's what we were told to show up. Like me and Andy are kind of like on time people. Like if not like a couple of minutes
early, 10 minutes late, fashionably late. But
right.
So is it just so? Then what did they have a recommendation of time?
No.
Oh,
I will say from personal experience that Paul and Andy arrived on time to a party that I was hosting. Things were not ready, and Paul and Andy both put into like roll up our sleeves. We're here to help.
Right. Yeah, it's like that's the thing. It's
that's
like
what you did. It was perfect.
We don't mind that.
No, that was like showing up on time, and like you guys were like, okay, you guys need a little bit extra help, ready to go.
So we had we do our wind down party at Pride. We used to do that every year, and we had one year where our friend Tim showed up like 2 hours early. He got the time wrong. He thought it was 3 instead of 5 or something. And we gave him a vacuum. He vacuumed the floor.
Oh my God, how funny!
I was like, you're gonna have to do work around here, girl.
Do you remember Polly from the chorus?
Yes.
Yeah.
He took the bus to come to one of our parties. Showed up a couple hours early because of like the bus schedule.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Sorry, I have to come this early, but I'm here to help. What do you need?" And I was like, "I will put you to work. Thank you for being." Because he was just like, it was great. Like that's also, my memory of Polly.
But my memory of Polly is not to go to a movie anymore with him. Because he talked throughout the movie. Even
he's a movie talker?
Yes, even the trailers. I was like,
I love him, but I would not go to a movie with him.
That tracks. Like, no, Polly, that definitely tracks.
Oh, Lord.
Rest in peace, Polly.
My next one is number 101. It says, don't comment on other people's food. And it says you don't know their trauma. And I was like, okay, I can get on board with that.
That actually made a lot of sense.
Yep.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
I also didn't. I mean, but
What's
food can be
foods. Like,
so this is what it has. It's like, you don't know their trauma. And this is not me, but the guy that wrote it, or girl, says, I got very amped up in workplaces, and sometimes that takes the form of overly aggressive conviviality, like discussing what people are putting on their plates in the cafeteria or eating at their desks. Once I said to a colleague, wow, sport, you're really going whole hog at those steamed vegetables. Needless to say, when we had an emotional heart-to-heart about that person's long journey with disordered eating and why what I did was not okay, and I never talk about people's food anymore.
Well, and and people also have a trauma surrounding their cultural food.
Yeah.
Because when they were kids, they had to eat their cultural food, and especially like Asian households and stuff like that. It's totally different.
Yep.
So like kids would make fun of them, and so they hated eating their cultural food. Mm-hmm. So it's like, again, it's like fish and rice and all this other stuff. So you just don't know it. And I didn't even think about that until I read that. And I was like, oh, that is really interesting. And yes.
Yep.
So, I thought, okay, so this next one, I was like, I'm not sure if it's good or bad or if it's a generational thing. Okay, so ask how much everyone pays in rent. Because talking about what we pay to live here isn't rude. It's like asking how they survived a bear attack. Because like some people may look at it like, like a rite of passage in a way, like how are you affording to live here? Kind of thing. Like, oh, I found out my grandmother lived in a rent stabilized building, and then it was passed on to me, kind of thing. Or I, loved living there. I've lived there for 8 years, and kind of thing. So like we live in San Diego. San Diego is expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like even just the other day, me and the girls were coming back from lunch, and we were talking about how much we pay in rent, and it's like, oh, we pay this, I pay that. It's like, oh, I've lived there for 8 years. Our landlord's never raised our rent. Oh, I live outside of San Diego in like Chula Vista, so that's why I have this much space with.
And thank you, landlords.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
If it can help, like, empower and educate, it's the same thing with salaries, right? Like sharing your salaries in the company, like it helps you be like, oh, I'm getting grossly underpaid, or like,
right,
or like you can appreciate that you're making more than I don't know. It's tough and sensitive.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I agree or disagree, or if it's a generational thing.
I think for me, I would volunteer what I pay first and see what, like, if it's perceived or
I think
received.
There's a difference between friends and acquaintances too. Like,
like
I would not ever hesitate to talk about it with people I knew and I was close to, or even your coworkers, because you're really close to them.
Yeah.
Right.
But I wouldn't necessarily, like at a cocktail party, be talking about
with the programmers at your work.
Right.
but maybe I wanted to live in Hillcrest and be like, hey, can I ask what you guys are paying? Because I want to know, like, is this a lot, or is it what, giving some context helps.
Or you could say like, what's a general like.
I also think that comment is very much towards a New York City audience.
Well, yes, I was just going to say, it's very, like, big cities, so, like, Chicago, New York especially, because, like, people will judge you based on the neighborhood that you live in.
Yeah, totally.
Well, but also rent control is such a real thing. If you can get a rent control apartment, what your next-door neighbor pays $7,000 and you paid $3,000.
Yeah.
Right.
There is a really great Instagram account. The guy, he goes and asks people, like, hey, can I see your apartment and what do you pay in New York City? And it's like this transparency of, like, what people are paying, and then they get a tour of the apartment.
That sounds like a porn, the start of a porn.
I mean, it does, a little pornographic, yeah. Some of the apartments, too, you're like, yeah, very pornographic.
My next one is number 45. White people should always clearly pronounce 50 Cent. It's not fitty to you.
I love that one. I was like, yes, thank you so much. I'm like, please.
Oh, I went out of order. Sorry, go ahead.
So my next one is, It's perfectly fine to walk through someone's scene. Whether it's Steven Spielberg or a TikTok influencer, they don't own the sidewalk.
100%.
Because,
yes.
Let me tell you, I saw this video of this one girl doing this like TikTok dance in the middle of a Home Depot.
Is it influencers in the wild?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And like she was doing this TikTok dance hardcore in the middle of a Home Depot. And I'm like, I would be that guy in that one TikTok that was like, the girl was walking out of her, and this is one of the things they said, don't talk about it.
I did that.
Wait, say it again.
Like one of the rules is don't describe a TikTok. It's boring. But it's like, but I'm sure.
But you're talking about an Instagram.
Okay, but like you see
because it was TikTok on Instagram, so we're good.
Oh yeah, exactly. So there's this girl walking out of a gym or her apartment or something like that, and she's talking on her thing, and all of a sudden you hear this guy go, "Move, bitch! Get out of the way!" I'm like, I would be that guy.
Let's do it.
An influencer as they're doing their TikTok dance. I'd be like, get the fuck out.
I don't see a lot of like influencer people around.
I don't either. Thank God, because I would
I do want to like bomb their scene.
Okay, did you see this one where the guy was in a mall food court and he started yelling about Jesus and how Jesus was gonna like come to save you and stuff like that? If I was there, I'd be like, I am taking your fucking phone. Like, I'm going to run away with your phone now. Now see what God's going to do for you.
The Lord told me to take your phone. Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so this one, I don't know if I agree with. And it says, don't address 2 or more women as ladies. And, like... It says, it's oddly creepy when it comes from a man, and in other contexts, it reads as an unnecessary attempt to feign some kind of unity or connection between women. And I was like, okay, I don't think this applies to gay men, because I'm like, hey, ladies, to like tell people I'm gay.
But also, like you said about your Carol is your girl. And
my girl, yeah.
In my generation, you never called a woman girl, because in the 70s and 80s, when women were starting to become more empowered, a girl was demeaning.
Mm. And see, for me, I'm like the Beastie Boys. I'm like, hey, ladies!
But I was just like, I've like said that before.
It landed. We just don't want to get sued.
No, I've been on calls at work, and it's with women. I'm like, all right, ladies, like have a good afternoon. And I'm like,
but it's like you're grouping them as one and not giving them their.
I guess.
But it's just like when somebody says, "Hey guys."
So what word would you say instead of ladies?
And they didn't offer an alternative. Right. But I think then
distinguished colleagues,
tuggers and tuggettes.
I think I'm gonna start using that. But I was like, what is like a all inclusive term that has no gender? It was like,
hey days,
humans,
all y'all.
I do say y'all at work.
Y'all is singular and
y'all's
plural is all y'all.
All y'all.
Hey all y'all.
All y'all.
That's a lot of of what are those apostrophes? Wait, is it A-L-L apostrophe Y apostrophe A-L-L apostrophe S? All y'all's
is...
Okay, I mean, I don't know what you gotta figure out another word then for that.
Usually I
don't
just
think
do...
there's anything wrong with that. And I'd be curious if any women are out there that have... if any ladies are out there that have...
that have an aversion.
You know, at a cocktail bar maybe, where it's like people feel like they're being hit on and you go, hey, ladies,
right. So if you've got a couple of girls...
But if you're a straight man...
Women, I mean... if Sarah and Trixie are at the bar and you walk up and you're just like, hey, ladies.
But like, I think like for me, like,
you got game.
Just, I get that. Like if you're, so I think it's more applicable to like a straight man.
In certain contexts, right? Because I think professionally, like, ladies, what would you like for lunch today?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a negative or
what do you supposed to say? Women?
Creepy thing to say.
Well, and I also think...
All right, women.
But also, are gay men using that to be too comfortable with women, though?
Yeah,
because I was watching this show called Harlem, and they were at, like, New York Pride, and a gay guy just walks up to them, and he's like, ooh, titties. And she was like, no. He's like, it's okay, I'm gay. And it's like, no, it's not.
I'm like, yes, that's how I feel.
So,
like.
I don't know. I think it's just, like context and what kind of environment you're in. Okay, so I'm totally on board with this one because I would never. It's like, don't help a stranger parallel park. I just don't. I will watch you from my window for 15 minutes and judge you.
If someone asked me, I would totally help. But I don't like volunteer. Like, oh, I see you're having trouble parking. Do you want some help?
Yeah, I've had to ask help before, but it wasn't parallel. It was with a moving truck pulling another car.
The contest is to see if they'll let you take the car. Let me get in. I'll do it. And see if they let you.
Joe's a good parallel.
I mean, I think Grand Theft Auto would look good on me. What are you wearing? It's Grand Theft Auto.
Like Givenchy.
Oh my god, another fucking French word. For the longest time I thought it was Givenchy.
Oh god.
But it isn't like Givenchy.
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 It's my cologne.
So, well, we know that you're a Frenchman. This one made me laugh, and it's number 33. If you bring up astrology and it isn't met enthusiastically, change the topic. And I was like, 100%.
Yes.
I'd agree with that.
So this one I thought was good. It was actually, if you bring food or drinks to a party, you can't take it with you. But I have a caveat to that. But you can take the container. You just have to move whatever you have off of the plate that you brought it on or container that you brought it on onto something else, and then you can take the container. But, like, you brought that as kind of like a gift or, like, you can't take it with you. Don't be that person.
Yeah. Like, you can make another.
Unless the host offers it to you and says, hey, we have so
right.
much, could you use this?
Yes.
Please take
But,
it.
like, if you're leaving, because that plays to another one that I had on here, which was, like, be the first one to leave. Because I usually am. And I'm like, and it's usually when I'm like, okay, we've been here for a couple hours. People are probably like, some people want to leave, but they don't want to be the first one to leave.
You break the seal.
So I will, I will totally do that. Pineapple, when Andy understands what I'm saying.
but on the other side of that, hosting parties, I always like the people who stay till the very end and don't leave right away. I actually have that's a really fun part of the party.
Okay, like helping with like dishes or whatever.
No, just even like hanging out the last stragglers that are there like an extra half an hour beyond when everybody else left.
Yeah,
it's always really fun because that's most of the time when you're hosting, you're so busy doing stuff. That's one of the few times you get to just sit and relax and enjoy people. And so I don't want to rush people out either.
Yeah.
But also, if your host is doing the dishes, it means it's time to go.
I saw that one, and I agree. I think so. In my ideal world, I wouldn't even have to like say goodbye to anyone because I would just disappear, and then people will be like, "Wait, did Joe go somewhere?" And that's I think the ideal way.
Yeah,
because then it's like you don't have to say goodbye. No. Okay. Yes, at my party. All right, I'm just gonna slip out the back and not be in my house anymore. Oh my god. Okay, so this one I agree with 100%, and it is okay to ask how to say someone's name.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Because we get a lot of people through the office and stuff like that, and there's a lot of names that I don't know how to pronounce.
Yep.
So I will try on my own to say it phonetically, and then I'm like, okay, so is that correct? Did I say that wrong? Please tell me if I did or not. Like that's how I approach it.
Yep.
Because I'm like, if I had a difficult name, I don't want somebody just going, I don't know how to pronounce this. What? But it's also okay to go, I am so sorry. I do not know how to do this, and I don't want to be rude. Yep. How do you pronounce your name?
Yeah, because I feel like oftentimes if you have a more difficult name to pronounce, they'll be like, oh, yeah, it's just blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, cool, thanks.
So my next one is, when you're hosting a gathering, explain the invite list in real numbers.
Yes.
So there might be 30 people there.
Yep.
Because your small gathering might be a large group event for somebody else. And also, don't push your allergens or preferences for eating onto other people's parties. Because I don't care if you're gluten-free. I would try my best to
Yep.
But that's my decision. That's not you telling me, oh no, I need you to make this. Mm-hmm. Not gonna happen.
Bring your own.
Right. Just push it around the plate, girl, and then leave later. I don't care.
I will say that your parties usually have something. You're very mindful of it already.
Right. And we try to be. Yeah. But I don't want somebody coming up to me going, so I only eat raw, vegan, and it has to naturally fall off the tree. It's like, no. You
can naturally fall out of this house.
Yeah.
But we have some friends who we know have serious gluten allergies.
Yeah.
So we will, just I think part of being a good host is always doing something for them.
Yes.
Right.
And then over time, we've learned that some of those things are really good, so might as well do it for everybody.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that those make sense. Like if there's like a severe allergy or something like that.
But if you're going to I think if you have one of those and you've probably worked out in your own world how you deal with that going to parties, like bring your own or talk it through with the host first. Hey, yep. I have a severe gluten allergy. What's easier for you? Should I bring something? Because I don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the right way to do it. Okay, this one is applicable because we are adults. And it says, if you are dating an adult, you should own lube. Done.
Yes, and it doesn't matter
who you have sex
with. Mm-hmm. Because you just don't know. Some ladies,
and we mean quality lube, not that water-based shit.
Okay, exactly. Because some ladies need a little bit of extra help.
Correct.
Because
I mean, if you are a seasoned lady, you might need a little bit of lube.
Exactly.
Or if it's been a while.
A friend of the program, I won't name names, they went to get their normal checkup at the doctor and was worried that they had an STD because of irritation.
They're STIs.
STI. And the doctor was like, that's not an STI. You just need to use lube.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Is this a man or a woman?
It's a man. So anyway, lube as an adult is very important.
Yeah. They didn't use lube?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Oh, okay, they're just... Was it Steve?
It's our new gay friend.
Spit is not a good lubricator. No. Like, come on now.
I think it depends on diet.
We'll have to ask Dr. Carlton when he comes back through here. All right.
Gosh.
So this one is a couple of them all grouped together because I thought they were good. They all have to do with like parties.
Okay.
So don't have an ironic birthday party because somebody might really enjoy going to that medieval place or that cheesy restaurant or something like that. So it's not cool to do that.
Okay.
If you plan a birthday trip, please aggressively tell people that it is okay if they cannot make it.
Yeah, I agree.
They are obligated to come. They are
Add
not
destination wedding to that too.
Yes.
I will say when I was reading that one, I had to read it over like 6 times because I was like, I don't understand the way that it was written.
Oh, okay.
It was like if you're like planning a birthday, aggressively text people. I'm like, where's the noun?
And then the last one for this party one was like, if you bring flowers to a party, they should already be in a vase.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, because you don't want your host and hostess going, the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't have a vase for this.
Oh, that's smart.
Although if you host a lot of parties, you probably have 2 or 3 ready at the ready because people do that.
Well, and then it's nice. Like that's probably like a little like gift too. Like here's a nice vase.
But you're not allowed to take that vase back at the end of the night with your food.
I mean, well, a double whammy. Take the vase and then put some food in it.
If your hosts are offering you to take that food back, it means they didn't like it.
Oh, that's true. Gooped. Okay, these two are related to dating, and it's okay to ghost after one date. And then if you ghost someone, stay gone forever.
I don't want to see you 5 years later asking me for a favor.
But also, don't look at my stories on Instagram.
Ooh.
Like, I had so many of those where people would ghost me. I'm like, why are you watching this?
Like,
and then I would remove them. I don't need that kind of negativity.
Okay. I'm like, I'm not an option anymore. So
I'm like, okay, so you wouldn't respond to me, but you're gonna like, I don't know.
Yeah. So these two I grouped together. So if there's no deciding your order at the counter, like when you roll up, speak up. So like if you're in line and you're behind somebody, you should be looking at the menu.
Yep.
Know exactly what you're going to order by the time you get up to that counter.
Oh, you guys can go ahead of us.
Like, no, bitch. Like, if you got questions, Google that shit.
But I think like you and I are different because we look at the menus before.
Oh, I'm like, by the time I get up there, I'm like,
planned it.
I want this, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, and the chef special has substitutions tonight? Thank you. I already know this.
All right, wait, before you go, there's something kind of related to that. How do you feel about people being on the phone in public? Like when you're in line at that food restaurant, they're talking on the phone and they're not looking at anything until they get up to the counter, and then they've got to put their call on hold.
But that's the thing. Like, you should be like, hey, I'm in line. I'm next in line. I'll call you back after I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, because by the time you get up there, it's rude for you to go, hold on, I got to order. And it's like you're almost like the person who's taking your order is inconveniencing you. Like, and I would have people like at Target and stuff that would just not get off the phone at all while I'm ringing them up. And I'm like,
nope.
Fuck me then, huh?
I would, if I'm ever on a call and I'm like about to go in a checkout, I will hang up. I'll be like, I have to check out. I'll call you later.
Or I'm like, hey, hold on a second. I'll put them off to the side. I'm like, hi, how are you?
Yep. I make it a point. I will always like interact with someone that is like checking at like a cashier stand.
You've got my full attention.
But the other corollary to that, never FaceTime in public.
Oh my God, don't do that, people. Do not
I don't know how
do
people
that.
do that.
I
I can't
think that is
stand
ridiculous.
Like, it's, I don't know. Like
walking down the street.
I can't. I hate it so much.
But I also love when people are doing that and they're like all the way back here, and I'm like,
or up. They want the angle.
It's like they want the angle.
You would hope. I just hope I can. Like, if I see someone FaceTime, I'm like, I hope that they like go and like fall in like a grate from like the subway because they're not paying attention.
I just do stuff behind them, like flick people off or something.
But I think a lot of people do FaceTime, and I'm like, while walking, it can kind of be dangerous a little bit.
It is because you're not paying attention.
But also, like, you know, it's cool that we now have technology where you can see people's faces like that, but how important is that really for this conversation? If it's not important enough for you to be at home sitting down talking to them and you're still out and about in the world, I don't think they need to see your face.
Right. It's like, I don't get it unless it's like, you know, someone, and this is very, because it's still wrong. Like, if it is someone passing and you can't be there, you probably shouldn't be in Starbucks as anyway, like, you know, taking that call. You should be like, I'm going to go to my car real quick and take this call from there.
Just, I don't understand it. I mean, look, you do you and whatever makes you happy.
Is that a generational thing? Is it younger generation or older generations that are taking FaceTime calls?
It's younger. Well, and I think
feel like it's younger.
But I've seen a lot of, like, it's been across the board that I've seen. So it's just been kind of like...
Yeah, I just think it's whoever.
Yeah.
I just say, period. Doesn't matter your age.
Yeah, don't FaceTime and walk. Or just don't FaceTime at all.
In public.
Along with that, with the order thing and stuff like that, if your burger becomes a salad, you have too many modifications. Like, no.
I love my mom, but that's my mom. She'll be like, can I have the bacon buffalo ranch onion burger, but with no onions, no bacon, no buffalo, and no ranch? And it's like, what?
Well, I mean, we could talk about Starbucks orders.
Look, I don't like. I don't.
But no. That's not substitutions. That's ads.
Right.
That's additions.
Because that's different. Because you are.
I'm on your team.
They know exactly. They know that you're going to have modifications because you want it exactly.
We were out at Uptown with Steve, and Steve had a friend visiting who's a manager at Starbucks, and he's like, you know, the number of modifications people have on their drink orders is insane now. Like, that person is a chemist that's working.
I have 4. Really? I have whole milk.
Okay. That's not
because
bad.
That is an actual, like, that's something they need to know.
Let's talk about adjectives. All right, how many adjectives are in your order? Venti, white, chocolate, mocha. No, mocha's the noun.
But that's not a modification. That's the actual
whole
item.
Milk, light whip. Mocha drizzle.
Listen,
right,
but okay, Starbucks offers it, so you're just utilizing what they offer.
You can't utilize.
It took me 5 years to learn his coffee.
You can't utilize the fact that it's a venti white chocolate mocha because that's my actual drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my modifications are: I want whole milk, light whip, mocha drizzle. But I know them for a fact, and it's done.
Well, and you wouldn't have had to say whole milk unless Starbucks changed from their standard whole milk to this 2% because people were like, oh no.
Right, because if you don't say whole milk, they'll give you 2%. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't like 2%.
You need that. You need all
I need
of
that
the
fat. That's what the flavor lies.
That's vitamin D, right?
Okay.
You need that vitamin D. Speaking of food, my next one is never send an edible arrangement, and I 100% disagree with this.
I disagree with this too because
I fucking love edible arrangements.
Because I received an edible arrangement from Andy's family.
But I love them.
I do too. I think they're great.
So good.
And I get it, like, you know, like especially when somebody passes, it just doesn't seem like it's a lot. But like, it did bring a smile to my face that they sent me that. And I'm like, other people are going to cook for you. Like, I will cook for somebody if somebody passes in their family. Like, I'll ask them if they want me to make them a casserole or something like that. But again, an edible arrangement, if it's somebody across the country, that's what they can send you.
Yeah.
Like, and
it's the thought that counts.
It's a nice thing, and it is a good thought, and it all tastes good. It's perfect.
Yeah,
I know.
Listen, dipped fruit and chocolate is A+ to me.
I know. We still have the edible arrangement in the refrigerator that his family sent me.
That's tonight's dessert.
There you go.
It will be pineapple, and it is not time to leave.
Oh, this one was really good because, like, if you are real friends, you accommodate the most COVID careful among you. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, and if you're having a party and you have any COVID guidelines, you should be very explicit in what those guidelines and what you are expecting. So I thought that was really interesting post-COVID, like having those kind of ideas.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's just interesting to think that, you know, when you go through something like COVID, it's an opportunity to rethink all these rules. You know, like that alone is kind of interesting. That changed the game a bit. You know.
This one I disagree with because it says when another human is present, don't talk to your animal in the private voice you use when alone together. And I was like, no, I am consistent when I speak to Max, and no matter who's around.
How's Max going to learn to talk if you don't talk in a big boy voice?
Yeah, exactly. No, I get that. I agree. Like,
last night, no, it was funny because last night we were just hanging out, and like Nick was on one side of the couch, and then I had Max, and I was talking to Max in like very like normal English, and Nick was like, he doesn't understand. I was like, well, when we're alone, we have full on conversations in English.
So my other one was like number 1. Actually, it was like you don't have to read everyone's book, meaning like you don't have to see that show that they're in, read the book, listen. Well, you should listen to the podcast that they do. And it's like, and if you do and you liked it, then you should help promote it online. It takes 2 seconds for you to do that. It's not a huge thing, and you might introduce it to somebody who doesn't know. But they were like, if you haven't read something, you should say like, what a feat. Like, meaning it's so amazing that you did something like that. Like you wrote a book or you were in a show. So if I see you after your Gay Men's Chorus show and I go, oh my God, what a feat.
It looked like you were having
so much fun up there.
Paul, what was your favorite number?
What a feat. Just keep saying what a feat.
But see, it's like you say that and it doesn't open it up for a lot of like follow-up questions.
Actually, it would, because I was like, you never say what a feat. That's like from the 1940s.
Okay. I only have a couple more, but this one I didn't understand, and it's never wake up your significant other on purpose.
Ooh, he puts his thing down.
So you shouldn't, like, if your significant other is sleeping and you come home late, you should try to be quiet. So
is that what it was related to?
Right. You shouldn't go over to your partner going, hey,
well,
are you sleeping?
Obviously, but I was like, "What if?"
I want to talk to you about something.
Because I was like, "Well, what if they were late for work?" I'm like, "No, you just got to sleep through it." Like in that instance,
no. Like if you know that, like for that kind of idea, then it's fine.
So it's only when like you come home and they're sleeping,
or if you're awake and they're still sleeping, like you have to be up early and like they're still sleeping. You should do everything you possibly can not to wake them up.
Yes, I agree with that.
So,
but I was like, "Well, what if I need what if there's an emergency?"
But like if somebody's breaking into the house. They wrote that in there. Somebody's breaking into your house. figure it out.
But also, like, if you have a significant other that wants you to kiss them so that they'll sleep better knowing that you got home safe,
yes,
and they can fall right back to sleep, then that's okay. But it's just you work that out,
right? You know that already,
right?
I just know the early times when I would spend the night at your house, you would wake me up the next morning to be like, "It's time to be awake. Good morning."
That's what it means.
But we had a conversation about it, and now when we spend the night together,
now I just leave him be. I'm like, okay.
He does his thing. He's probably he'll be like, I've been to Target, CVS, I ran a marathon.
Yeah.
How is your morning?
I wrote this book. Do you want to read it?
I know.
What a feat!
Okay, so if you're on a date, all individuals should and politely and gently compete to pay the bill. But remember the old adage, I changed this so this rhymed.
Okay.
I love it. But if you're penetrating, then you're compensating.
Oh!
But their thing was like, if you're penetrating, you pay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, okay.
If you're okay.
So like in a gay thing, if you're the top.
Yeah.
But what if you think you're both tops?
I mean, you should have disclosed that before.
Yeah, you're not on this date without knowing that already.
100%. Because you had an unsolicited booty hole pic.
Like if you're out with a big group, it's that idea too, where it's like, what if you only had a soup and a water?
Well, that's on there too.
Well, yeah, they say that if you're gonna do that, everybody should still just do it evenly.
Split it evenly, and if you don't drink, then people who do will do the tip.
Right, then they'll pay the full amount of the tip. But also, there was one where it was like, if you're planning a get-together with friends, if you're the one who planned it, then you get first choice of rooms. So if you got like Airbnb, and there's numerous rooms, you get first choice of room.
Yep.
So if you want the largest room, you can have that, unless there's like a family or something there with you. But like if it's just a couple singles and some couples, that person who played it. But I feel like if you paid a larger amount than everyone else, then you should also get first choice.
Yeah.
And then the person who planned it should get second choice.
That would have solved so many Real Housewife fights.
Oh, right? All them women.
But guess what? They never planned it because it was
ladies.
Just oh my god. Okay. This is kind of like my last one, but it's you may callously cancel almost any plans up until 2 p.m.
See, okay. Now, I wasn't sure if I agreed with that or not.
I wanted to know what your opinions were.
So, like, I know they said, unless they're cooking you dinner, then you can't. But, like, 2 o'clock is enough time for them to find somebody else to go have dinner with. But I'm also like, but that also isn't going to make the person you try to find feel good about themselves. Because it's like, oh, I had this reservation for dinner and you want to meet with me because I got canceled on.
Yeah.
But also, I
didn't know if I agreed or disagreed.
I think it's like, it depends on the situation, but I'm like, I feel like canceling on the same day at like 2 o'clock and your dinner's at like 6 is just like, that's
not enough time.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cool. Okay, so, I had a couple of others. Do you still have some more, or was that the last one?
I think I've exhausted my list.
So I like this one, gift randomly.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's such a good one. I don't like to just do it only on birthdays and Christmas and stuff, because if I see something, I want to get it for you, and I think that's such a good idea.
Yeah, I love that.
And then
if you see something, gift something.
Oh, there you go. And then never answer a compliment with a compliment. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Like that.
I was like, oh, what do you just say? Thank you?
Yes, you just say thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate it, kind of thing. Because I guess it's like it becomes off insincere.
So, because it's like, oh, when you did this to me, I'm going to do it to you.
I love that shirt. I love your shirt too.
Right, exactly.
No, I love your hair. No, I love your hair.
But it's also
what
like,
a feat.
Just take a compliment. You know what I mean? It's like,
thank you.
What a feat.
I would say somebody has insecurities of getting compliments. I do that. I deflect by re-complimenting rather than just being like, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, but that's not the person giving the compliments
also,
responsibility.
Like, some people negate the compliment, like, oh my god, are you kidding? This whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's just thank you.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
Because the person is being sincere and nice, and it's like, okay.
And this one I feel like pertains to us. Like, you have 2 seconds to tell someone that you've heard a story they have already told.
Mostly to Nick.
Mostly to me.
It's true. You can have 2 seconds to tell me, oh my God, that was horrific. Yeah, that was. Oh, no.
That was crazy, right? What a feat, right?
All right, well, everyone, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much. Apply these new rules if you want to, or stick with the old rules. It's up to you. All right? Have a great week. Thanks.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.